at Daytona International Speedway. We'll hear from him in just a minute. From the Daytona International Speedway, this is MRN Radio.
Certainly like to remind you that our visitor center remains open until 5 o'clock this afternoon. There are tickets available for the Pepsi 400.
Also be made to the Brenner Children's Hospital in Winston-Salem, North Carolina for goodies, headache powders in the name of Joe Nemechek. Here at Daytona International Speedway, the race this afternoon is in the history books. Hope to get a word with Markham, the fifth place finisher, in just a couple of minutes. Let's run quickly through some of the numbers on the race today. There were 10 different drivers who led the event, 15 lead changes. Between them, 5 cautions for 23 laps. Average speed for the winner was 140.740 miles an hour. 9 cars on the lead lap at the end of the race, 30 on the racetrack at his conclusion. Steve Grissom led a total of 45.
Folks, once practice begins, we would ask that you step back from the fence and take a seat in the grandstand. Plenty of room in the grandstands for you to watch practice. Once the cars get on the racetrack, please step back from the fence.
Back at Daytona, they're about to turn the NASCAR Winston Cup Series machines loose for a final hour of practice before tomorrow's running of the Daytona 500. Wrapping up our coverage of this afternoon's Goodies 300, Johnny Chapman was the Ray-Ventus Brakes Rookie of the Race. He picks up 600.
Please step back from the fence. Everyone, please step.
Hi, everybody. There may not be an event more aptly named than the one that took place today in Daytona Beach. It's the Goodies 300, a race sponsored by the folks that make headache medicine. And tonight, several of the Grand National drivers are in need of a little relief. 46 cars took the track at around 12:30 for the first and biggest event on the BGN circuit. But a bundle of those would not finish this thing. Local hotshot Jeff Purvis started the event from the pole but didn't have smooth sailing at all. In turn 2, he spun out of control. That slipping and sliding would continue. Lap 23, 7 cars get tangled up in turn 4. Number 57, Jason Keller, not only got hit once, but watch as the traffic comes through, popped again. Ouch. The hardest knot was suffered by Doug Hevron, who ultimately had to go to the hospital for a checkup in a neck brace, but he fortunately is okay tonight. The caution flag would come back out on lap 44 thanks to a 5-car mishap. Mike McLaughlin and Lakeland's Joe Nemechek get together. Another chain reaction, plenty of smoke would send more guys in search of the headache powders. Just 8 laps later, there was another big-time bang-up at Daytona. This one involved 10 cars, including Pete Orr. Again, despite the mess, everyone was okay. The same, though, can't be said for Pete Orr's car. On the way back to the pits, a few sparks and a little gas would add up to fireworks. In all, 5 cautions, 14 lead changes in the Goodies 300. The final change happened late. That's when Steve Grissom in the WCW wrestling car would put Dale Jarrett in a headlock and hold on for the victory. Daytona's own Mark Martin came across third.
Yeah, I tell you, the car was awful fast. I mean, if you got a good horse, you can ride it. And, you know, just the main thing today, we had to be patient and not get in any trouble and stuff like that. We felt like we had a good car for the race. And, you know, with that, you just kind of bide your time, race who you have to, when you have to.
Tomorrow, the Winston Cup Circuit gets after it with the biggie, the Daytona 500. Dale Earnhardt will start from the pole for the first time and is looking for his first win in the 500. This will look at the last practice session. Ernie Irvin, a man given a small chance of survival after a crash 19 months ago, is on the outside of row 1. And the man who's won the last 2 Daytona 500 starts third, Sterling Marlin. It's a shame that this year's race lacks compelling storylines. There is also
Wisconsin, the prodigy Chevrolet, Dave Marcus. Going 22nd out of Spanaway, Washington, the mane and tail Ford for driver Derek Cope. And 21st out of Dawsonville, making his return to Victory Lane on Thursday in the Gatorade 125 from Salinas, California, the Texaco Haviland Ford, driven by Ernie Irvin. And on the Busch pole, with a qualifying speed of 189.510 miles an hour, the GM Goodwrench Service Chevrolet for Kannapolis, North Carolina's Dale Earnhardt. And there you have the 43 cars starting field for today's Daytona 500.
Attention on pit road. Please clear pit road immediately. Attention on pit road. Please clear pit road immediately.
Get out of the way. Maybe next time. 30 seconds.
Richard's on his big old like free cigarettes. Let's get ready to. Yeah, he did.
By Pontiac, the official pace car of NASCAR. 25 years running. Pontiac, we are driving excitement by STP, celebrating 25 years with Richard Petty. A partnership in racing and high performance. STP, drive a better car. By Gatorade Thirst Quencher, the official sports beverage of NASCAR. Hey, life's a sport, drink it up. And by NASCAR, hotter than asphalt. One and only country on the fast track, available at Kmart.
It was 1959 when the first Daytona 500 was held here at the Daytona International Speedway. Lee Petty and Johnny Bouchet side by side with a lap car in the finish that took 61 hours to determine the eventual victor. Today, the 38th running of the Daytona 500, looking for perhaps a new chapter in the history book as Tennessee's Sterling Marlin tries to become the first man ever to win the 500 in 3 consecutive years. Richard Petty won it back-to-back in 1973 and 74. Cale Yarborough won the 500 back-to-back in 1983. Turn 4 pad 4, because it can be a launching pad for you in the draft if you hit it just right. The drivers will come down that back straightaway. They'll swing up into turn number 3. They'll scramble around, pick their drafting partners, and then set up for turn number 4. If you can hit it just right, you'll get your launch. If you hit it wrong, the other drivers will eat your lunch. Field now working down the main straightaway through the 18-degree bank trial. I remember Jeff Bodine winning a race in 1986 on fumes when Dale Earnhardt had to stop for a splash of gas late in the race. Darrell Waltrip, one of the guys just topping off that fuel tank, won the race in 1989, staying out on the speedway when Ken Schrader had to pit for a final splash of fuel. So that fuel mileage, how the caution flags fall, all of that goes back to Rebel Ride also across the back of the pack. He is trying to back up car after an accident in the Gatorade 125s on Thursday. So he goes to the back of the pack in a backup car. Bobby Labonte is also in the honorary starter, getting set to wave the green flag and get the 38th Daytona 500 underway. Here comes the field towards the start. 1,200 feet from the start-finish line. Coming down, green flag is in the air, and 180,000 fans ready to watch. Heading into turn number 1. Nobody pulling out to pass. They stay door to door, and that's the way they go into the corner. Chevy and Ford side by side. Earnhardt and Irvin headed strong. In a turn 1 for the first time in 1996 Daytona 500. Sterling Marlin sitting behind in the second row. Ken Schrader to his outside. A high-speed race lap underway. Now down to the inside. Labonte Chevrolet to the outside. Drag racing towards turn 1. Side by side, but Terry Labonte drives in a little bit deeper. Gets a nose out in front. Now, though, Dale Jarrett pulls even again. Down the back behind Jarrett. Ken Schrader behind Terry Labonte. That's the race for third off turn 2. And again, here's Dale. Coming off of turn number 4. Kicking forward. Outside wall, and as he had to come off the throttle with some right front damage, it caused the field behind him to scatter and sent Grissom spinning to the inside. When he came back across the racetrack, he collected with the first caution of the Daytona. And fire for the fill up the ram air induction. Gives air. Rusty Wallace brings the number 2. The draft car in after Rick Mass. Leader is Dale Jarrett. He's coming off of turn number 4. He will take the caution flag on lap, ironically, 28 to slow the race after Ernie Irvin gets into the outside wall off of the trial. Damages the right side of his Texaco half. This field along most of this race. I have heard Terry's name mentioned by many after yesterday's last practice as being a strong horse and a strong candidate to win the 500 today. Single file among the front 6 cars. Let's go back to pit road.
Jim Long is third shaping for Lake Speed, another of those cars that a lot of folks who weren't here all week didn't realize we were running quite as well as you are.
Well, we like a little bit of a sleeper here. It took us a while to catch up there.
Satisfied right now?
Yeah, Lake's pretty happy right now.
So it's still early in the 500, but a good run for the stand thus far. Lake Speed near the front all day long.
6-car breakaway off turn number 4, single file. Content to run that way and maybe get a little separation on everybody else's cars. 18 and 20 car choo-choo train catch up. Terry Labonte takes him back to turn number 1. Ricky Rudd is the odd man out back at the tail end of that. Got a couple of cars behind him helping him catch up. Now here's a scramble in the front of the pack. Dale Earnhardt's going to take the high lane and try to advance on Jordan Barnes. Andretti's strong, staying right there with Terry Labonte. He's in the second spot. Andretti is the best. Now it's John Andretti drafting and pulling Dale Jarrett off to Bill Elliott across the start-finish line. He'll swing to the outside of Jeff Bodine before he's flagged down. Now Jarrett and Andretti are right on the leader's back bumper. Here they come into turn number 1. Bill Elliott leads the way. Dale Jarrett. Now Jarrett. He'll try to pull down Jeff Bodine. He's about 5 car lengths and 1 lap behind the race leader. Out of turn 2 and on the back straightaway. Let's see now what Dale Jarrett will decide to do. For the moment, he just continues to track back behind John Andretti's Ford until he has to look down. whole situation could change in another 3 laps because Dale Earnhardt rides along back there about 2.5 seconds behind that front raft. Has 5 or 6 cars that are also running 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th with him, and they're chasing down the front 2. They're back in 1.
Robert Presley is there along with Dale Earnhardt. You've also got Mark Martin, Kenny Schrader, Michael Waltrip, and Ted Musgrave, who we haven't talked much about today. He's been all into the picture. Now here's Dale Jarrett finally making the move by the lap car of John Andretti. Down to the inside of John Andretti's car.
John Andretti's Kmart Little Caesar Ford Thunderbird. Earnhardt down on the inside, running in 3rd spot. Once again, Elliott the leader. Dale Jarrett in 2nd. Earnhardt is 3rd. As that battle now with Andretti very, very high out of 3rd. Coming off the banking. 100 up 200. Reform Dale Jarrett, Elliott, and Dale Earnhardt is beginning to pull that second group of 6 cars up on Jarrett. As they weave in and out of lap traffic, lap 121 on the board. From the Daytona International Speedway, this is Elliott Mark. The crippled machine of Terry Labonte on the inside as Elliott leads the draft in turn 1. Like being prepared for Thunderbird, McDonald's colors for Elliott. A 9-time most popular driver in NASCAR.
He was racing along with Robert Presley at the time. They made contact slightly, and Andretti was the outside wall on 2.
Bouncing all the way across the racetrack, didn't touch anybody else, so it'll be a single car accident off turn number 2. John's car is now coming out on the apron.
And the left side of the car is actually sitting over on the chassis on the left side. Again, as he raced off the corner, Andretti trying to get back on the lead lap. The 2 made some contact on the high side of turn 2, and Andretti got steered right into the outside wall. The marks all along the outside retaining wall where he slammed in, then turned around twice before winding up down on the apron off turn 2.
John has climbed from that race car. He is okay, but a very hard crash in the backstretch. Michael Waltrip also got a piece of that. The his car is on the pit lane with some damage to the right front corner. 2 as side by side on the inside of the Robert Presley car, and Andretti's car abruptly turns to the left and then hard head-on into the outside retaining wall and loops around where the car has come to rest. Andretti has climbed out of the car and walked into
Mike Wallace all get together and spin on turn 2.
one of those cars was tagged by another and turned straight left into the outside wall. It looked like the car on the back straightaway that's sitting about halfway up that belongs to Mike Wallace. He took a hard shot into the outside wall. Roy Allen and Brett Bodine also involved. Bobby Labonte spun to avoid it, but a hard crash exiting turn number 2 has put the caution flag back out onto the speedway at lap 136. Joe, those cars racing side by side back in lap traffic, and it looked like some contact between them got Mike Wallace turned around.
Gathered them all up, and Mike Wallace, from our vantage point here at turn 2, got the worst end of that. His
Computer Modem Company, and you folks had some great news for all of us in the racing business this morning, I understand.
Yes, we did. We decided we would go ahead and sponsor Bud Moore's car for the full year.
We are very certainly glad to hear that, and glad you're...
It's a natural fit, young, intelligent car, volleyball. I think it's going to be a good company.
We're certainly proud to have you on board and a part of the sport. Appreciate you coming by. Hope you're enjoying the 500. It's been a great show so far.
It's really been a treat being down in the pits.
Dennis, good to have you here. Dennis Hayes, CEO of the Hayes Motive Computer Modem Company, here signing its contract today. As a matter of fact, to sponsor Bud Moore's team and driver Wally Dallenbach Jr. for the 1996 season.
Yeah, they've had a pretty good day so far. Had some good runs in that car.
A moment ago, that accident off turn number 4 collected Mike Wallace, Bobby Labonte, Brett Bodine, and Roy Allen. And Bobby Labonte was on pit road just a moment ago getting some work done on his car. Rest out in the middle of the grass. They're showing the line down the other car involved. Robert Presley got a piece of that just a moment ago. And right now, his car limping on around. Also still trying to get around the racetrack. It looked like Morgan Shepherd doing a chunk of it. Bobby Hamilton's spot coming through there also. He will have enough damage to be done, but the yellow flag waving for the 6th time. Lap 159 should see pit stops when the lead cars come back around. From the Daytona International Speedway, this is MRN Radio. Heavy contact out of turn 4 brings out caution flag number 6 here at Daytona, and some of the cars involved. Jeff Bodine's QBC Ford Thunderbird heavily damaged. Now Dale Jarrett leaves his pit. 4 tires for Elliott, 4 tires for Jared. So this caution flag. We start with Jim Phillips. Dale Earnhardt came in. 40 laps remaining in the 38th running of the Daytona 500. 2 tires for Dale Earnhardt, 2 tires for Michael Waltrip, and then 4 tires from there on back. Good run for Rusty Wallace, who started 43rd on the field. Wallace trying to break the jinx on the restrictor plate tracks, has averaged finish last year 27th at the 4 restrictor place races, being shown now in 4th position. The Miller Genuine Draft Ford Thunderbird. Back in 5th spot is Dale Jarrett. 6th is Mark Martin. 7th, Ken Schrader. And 8th, being shown the Jimmy Spencer cars with 9th, Ricky Rudd. And the last from the
Today's 38th annual Daytona 500 wasn't lacking in excitement. So many subclass to this race today that over 150,000 NASCAR fans had their heads spinning for 500 miles right up to the very last lap in today's race. We begin our News Channel 2 team sports coverage of the 38th Daytona 500 with sports director Mark Middleton, who's on the infield at the Speedway. Mark, no three-peat for Sterling. Ernie got banged up, but the Dales were delightful.
Well, they were delightful, but one of them was very disappointed, Tim. As you mentioned, the weather was great. It is a bit nippy now. The crowd was huge. The racing was intense. It seemed the cars were more evenly matched this year than ever before. That made the racing very exciting, but at times dangerous. And as we showed you at the top of the show, it was a battle of the Dales at the end. Once again, another disappointment for Dale Earnhardt.
Dale Earnhardt is no stranger to victory lane at Daytona. In fact, including his wins this week, he's been there 28 times. That's an all-time record. They probably changed the name to Daytona, except he's never won the biggest race of all, the Daytona 500. Coming into today's race, Earnhardt was 0 for 17 of the Super Bowl of speed.
Yeah, we're as prepared as we've ever been here. The car's working good, running good. We feel good about it.
How do you explain your frustration here? Is it just bad luck?
Well, no, I believe you make your luck, but we've just been there so many times. We just got to make a little better luck, maybe.
But it sure seemed like bad luck back in 1990 when Earnhardt dominated the entire race. He had it put away, only to cut a tire on the last lap, less than a mile from the finish line, and faded to 5th. If Earnhardt was nervous over his winless streak in the 500, he certainly didn't show it this morning. But then again, he never seems nervous.
Example is like at the Brickyard, his standing heart rate was 62, and every other driver in the field was over 100. They had them all by 40 points. I think he allows his mind to just set himself at ease. He's most comfortable in a race car, so he's got no fear. There's nothing to worry about. That's his office.
But there was something different about this 500 from Earnhardt's previous 17. For the first time ever, he was on the pole. On the first lap, Earnhardt slipped all the way to 10th, but quickly fought his way back to the head of the class and remained near the lead the rest of the way, in front of all the problems. One by one, his competitors fell victim to the slugfest. In the end, it was 1993 all over again, a battle of the Dales, Jarrett and Earnhardt. Jarrett took the lead with 13 laps to go, and as he did in 93, held off the Intimidator, and once again, Earnhardt finished a close second, losing a 500-mile race by a few feet.
Daytona, I just can't believe that you get this situation so many times and still can't win. Well, we just didn't have it. The Ford has got it. We ain't.
All right, Dale Earnhardt disappointed once again in his Dale Jarrett.
As Engelbert Humperdinck sang the national anthem, there were a host of storylines soon to be played out in this year's Daytona 500. Could pole sitter Dale Earnhardt end his 18-year drought and win his first ever Daytona 500? Could outside pole sitter Ernie Irvin come full circle from that near-fatal crash to win NASCAR's biggest prize? Could Sterling Marlin become the first driver ever to win 3 straight Daytona 500s? Or would it be another of NASCAR's best who would make that coveted trip to victory lane? It was Earnhardt and Irvin leading the 42-car field to the green in what was to be a most eventful Daytona 500. Defending Winston Cup champion Jeff Gordon's season got off to a rocky start. Only 11 laps into the race, Gordon gets a nudge from Jeremy Mayfield, and Gordon rides the wall in heavy traffic. Gordon steers clear, but several other cars spin their way into the tri-oval for a rough start to the day. Take another look from our turn 4 camera. There's the bump, and there goes Gordon as he encounters early problems.
We come here to win. You're here for such a long time that it's definitely discouraging to see a wrecked race car that early in the race.
It was back to the green for 15 laps, but as the leaders head toward turn 1, Earnhardt has ignition problems. Ernie Irvin bumps Earnhardt, and then Ernie gets bumped by Dallenbach. Ernie hugs the outside wall, and his hopes of winning the 500 were over. Lap 55, Derek Cope winds up nosing the outside wall in turn 4. He is the only car involved in this one. He is okay, but his day is done. Also, Sterling Marlin's hopes of winning 3 straight 500s came to an end as he goes out of the race with engine problems. About 75 laps of green flag racing, and nobody was willing to give an inch. Door handle to door handle racing, 3 wide and bumping into turns. John Andretti had a good run going until lap 131. Andretti gets loose in turn 2 and takes a major league lick against the outside wall. Michael Waltrip gets grazed in the mishap, but Andretti was heading back to the truck for some pizza. Take another look at this one from our turn 2 angle. Andretti nails the wall, almost gets airborne, goes for a major league e-ticket ride, but he is okay.
The disappointing part comes is the fact that we didn't get to finish the race, and you know, if we could have made that lap back up and had a yellow and not been the yellow, circumstances could have been totally different for us.
Only 3 laps back under the green before trouble again in turn 2. Mike Wallace loses it and winds up collecting Lori Allen and Brett Bodine. A lot of bench sheet metal, but all are okay.
I really don't know what happened. I just know I wrecked, and unfortunately probably took 2 or 3 other good cars with us. And
one more caution of the day comes with 40 laps to go. Turn 4 again this time. Lake Speed tries to find a hole that isn't there. He makes contact with Jeff Bodine, and the dance is on. Take another look at it from our turn 4 camera. There's the contact between Speed and Bodine, and folks start ducking for cover. Some of the others involved in this one: Chad Little, Robert Presley, Jeff Purvis, Morgan Shepherd, and Bobby Hamilton. Fortunately, none of the drivers are injured. That would set up a 35-lap sprint to the finish. On the final lap, a repeat of the 1993 Daytona 500 battle, a Dale and Dale duel. Dale Jarrett in the lead, making his T-bird as wide as possible, trying to block Dale Earnhardt down the backstretch. As they head for home, Earnhardt does not have the horses to challenge, as Dale Jarrett wins the Daytona 500 for the 2nd time in his career. Needless to say, a jubilant Dale Jarrett team as they're heading to victory lane in NASCAR's biggest race of the year.
the car was just awesome. It came down to, I think, Robert Yates having the best engine here. He's simply the best in the business, and that's what kept me out front. And I hated for Earnhardt again, but y'all got something to talk about again next year when we come back here for the 500.
Something to talk about it?
Into their parking area, but just after 4 o'clock, thousands of people come poured back into the parking lots and into the streets, and it did not take very long for the roads to fill up, including US 92 right in front of the Speedway. So we are reporting live over Volusia County, and if you need to be in Daytona Beach, you may want to stay away at least for the next several hours. I'm Nicole Smith reporting live. Back to you, Trace Michelle.
Good advice. Thank you, Nicole. Clearly it was not safe driving outside
field of the Daytona International Speedway. Harriet Williams took a pit tour to get acquainted with the cars at her first Daytona 500.
Now we're going over to see the actual car, the racing car for Coors Light.
And the driver's Kyle Petty.
Yes, it is.
Which has got to be exciting, because
that's the name I grew up in Florida, but I never went to a Daytona 500, but Kyle Petty is the name I've heard forever, so it's going to be exciting to finally meet him.
These guys are 20-year veterans of the race and travel with their own bus and a top-shelf view of the track. Got a great vantage point for the race. Who are you pulling for today?
Well, you see the one that's up front. That's the number 12. That's where he'll finish.
250,000 people at Daytona means brisk souvenir sales and slow traffic.
The sales have been absolutely great because it's the busiest day since I've been here.
As for the traffic, most infielders beat it by arriving 4 days early and camping out in their motorhomes. What have you been doing for the last 4 days?
Jeez, sitting around waiting for today.
And now we'll have to wait 1 more year for the next Daytona 500. I'm Casey Shaughnessy for Channel 6 Sports.
And of course, we'll have a...
And one of the all-time Disney favorites, only on the Disney Channel.
Okay, here we are in our room. Not much of a room. And we're going to have a look through the TV channel. Yeah. Okay. That's 2. Nothing's on. Nothing's on 1. Okay.
You want to sit in your room, you want to get out and look.
Okay.
For it's a disgrace to the martial arts.
Okay.
What's that?
Her sister says that she's very much a lady. And she says that she likes a brother that's... She says if he disrespects her, though, she'll beat him like he stole something.
Okay, we're on channel 5.
Ready?
Yep. 6.
You scratch the surface.
In fact, every single night in the States.
7.
Have you seen Mr. Lawrence?
8.
Check it.
That's Superman.
My name.
Sell themselves. In addition to our furnished models,
In your house, nobody does pay-per-view like the World Wrestling Federation. Magical, mystical night.
About
an inch and a half on the lower stomach.
Fitness channel. No, it's home shopper.
No.
Home shopping channel.
I like.
No, channel yes.
But isn't there a happy medium?
That's Rosie O'Donnell.
Incredible bargain. With your subscription, you get your first video, years listen, plus the free activity book.
Oh,
I think
religious
that's
channel.
a religious channel.
For just $19.95.
get on the line, folks. There's a lot of people on the line.
It's a shopping channel as well.
Another home shopping channel.
You're guaranteed to see results of your money back.
Was it Tony Little's thermo system? Iron Eagle 4.
God had loved them, and they responded.
Another religious channel.
He loved us. Malachi went on to show them that by choosing them to be.
With some soggy conditions, more
The Weather channel.
Weather channel. Watch this one a bit.
so far. Well, in Eugene, Oregon, 2 1/4 inches, as well as in
Ocean
Florence,
Shores, WA.
1 3/4 inches, and just over an inch for Ocean Shores, Washington, Seattle. 1/2 inch for you, and in California, the rain continues here. Ukiah, almost 1/2 inch. Crescent City as well, and in Kentfield,
What?
4
Just click
inches
through there.
so far.
Keep going.
Yeah, it's going to take forever otherwise.
7 p.m.
Hey, Carl! Good to see you!
Sport channel.
Oh, you know, an advert.
24 is sports, no?
Yeah, ESP. Family channel.
Dwayne, you pull out the gun now. I knew it. I'm just going to take it out. I swear. Shut up.
Daytona, Dale Jarrett accomplished that in '93, but to do it again.
Cable network news.
It is a little more special.
Kicker.
I mean, I know what to
Yeah.
expect from this now, and I know.
That's the news channel.
And knocking down 7. The win snapping Houston's 3-game win streak. The Vancouver Grizzlies continue to be the...
Dr. Barrett is on a run from the sofa to the door, and there's no evidence that a Duke can run just as fast as the next man.
Marilyn Monroe.
Talk to me now, Patagosta. Make any excuse you like.
Months have passed since the Mother Cougar's arrival.
Halfway through.
Teacher knows that
Okay.
soon she will find I'm a very
There you are.
reasonable man.
That's just 32.
electronic world wasn't enough. Now he's trying to turn the outside world against you.
Phil Graham. Social Security is in.
Stay with us for the conclusion of Night of the Twisters.
Men took exception to Motown's recent release of their remix album. That's the news for now. More news around the clock.
What's he doing?
Pause, they trail by just 5. They are the #1 free.
And over here, we have the dining area. And the chairs are pretty unusual, aren't they?
Gesner can't be sure what exactly this one is.
Archaeology
channel was stripped from it back at Blues.
In Malibu, and she was meeting some friends and wearing wire. She was very shattered. That day.
When it hurts so much you can hardly swallow ordinary food, that's when you know you've got a...
This was after 2 special election victories in the spring of 1994. Gaylord said...
Where's that?
He's not speaking, as it were, with the moral voice of the church and telling people this is what they think.
He's got on an extract. What you're going to do is
Food Network.
egg whites and beat them with your sugar, which is what we've done.
Tell them to take their way. Of course, that's silly. No.
Murder by Monday night.
Teachers of the month.
Tonight's forecast for Flagler, Volusia, and Brevard County. Fair skies, low temp.
Oh, it's the index channel, isn't it? What do you call it?
The TV guide.
TV guide, channel 50. And the rest are scrambled, aren't they?
Will share a common religious faith or a common background. They can't be Americans. We're a very diverse people, but we can have a
tasting water comes from an unexpected source.
That's full, Melanie. You're a receptionist.
One more.
It's wonderful for that. So I can go on these small calls.
That's 54 channels because there's nothing on one.
It's not because my face
54 channels to choose from.
Now, if you're like me, you think most models have perfectly flawless skin until they get on the cover of magazines. Now, Rebecca, that's a very bold story. You are actually a working model, and yet you have a pretty substantial acceleration.
Right.
Channel do we got?
Don't know.
Let's see what we bought.
Yeah.
It's nice to see. It makes me.
What did we buy?
It's actually worked out.
Shirt.
Loads of shit.
When I go to shoot all the nature products, I bring
Where's
it
the light?
with me. They try to use paint in your makeup, and I said,
Get back.
No, I can see them.
Cushions.
Turn mine over.
When I read at the end of the day, I don't have to wash all of this heavy makeup off the extra.
Did you sit down on? Obviously.
I can wear it out from the shoot. I can.
Stop filming. Here's the new jackets that we bought.
Oh.
Huh?
I'm filming your hat.
That's the hat that I bought.
Okay. This is my jacket.
Rusty Wireless. How's that? Cool.
Yeah. Cool, cool. Okay.
I've got new Jeff Gordon jacket.
Turn around. Ooh.
These are soaking wet. We just washed them. So when we went to Volusia County Speedway,
Just a bit of a dust bowl.
horrible dusty night. We had to wash these.
What's on the back of your shirt?
You had to be there.
This is 38th Daytona 500. You should have been there. February the 18th, 96. Okay. Well,
Okay, you're on.
It's my turn to talk a bit. These are some stubby holders we got. Daytona 500.
Okay.
$1.40.
How much were our jackets? 120 each.
That's why we got the cheap stubby holders.
But that's only like £90, so that's alright.
Yeah, it's like $240. No, it's not. It's about
No, I just told you.
Yeah, how many Australian dollars?
No, over 300.
Yeah. This is my shirt, one of them, Daytona 500. World Centre of Racing.
Okay.
Okay. This is my other shirt.
My black one's hanging up, right?
38 Daytona 500. And on the back it says, what does it say? 42 cars, 200 laps, high banks, long straights, tight drafts, at 190 miles an hour, number 1 in the NASCAR Monster Cup Series. This is the big one, 38th annual Daytona 500.
Yep.
That's wrong though, because it was 43 cars. It was Rusty Wallace snuck into 43. This is what we bought for Dan and Ange. This is last year's shirt.
Okay.
This is Daytona 500 on the back.
Yep. Okay, dokie.
Same on the back. And this is another one of Peter's shirt.
This is a good one. St. Augustine Speedway. And I can't believe we missed out by one night of watching the World of Outlaws race. That's a nice shirt.
This is my shirt.
Okay.
Yep. That's about it. I'm on. This is something else we got. Rusty Wallace.
It's glaring. Okay.
Got more than a bag though. Got the Rusty Wallace shocks.
Okie dokie.
And another shirt, Peters. The colour will run since we washed it.
Okay.
Oh, Jim Beam. Price of the Jim Beam.
1.75 litres for
$14.99. And Southern Comfort, 750ml Southern Comfort for $8.99, which is
a lot cheaper than duty free in England.
yeah, that's like $6, £6, £6, where it'd be £15 more at home. And what would it be in Australia? It would be
What?
well, that bottle would cost about $40 at home in Australia.
Yep. And some funny things about America.
Little plugs.
Plugs. They don't have a switch.
No switches, just turn them on and off.
So as soon as you plug it in, it's on.
And what about the
Light switches are upside down.
They go up. They go up to be on,
Yeah.
or down to be off.
What else do we know? That's about it.
I can show you my Hershey bars.
No.
There's Peter driving. It's Monday the what? 20th? No. 19th. And we're driving up to Gainesville. We're just going through Ocala National Forest. Driving through a little town called Mill Dam, and we just passed a sign saying state prisoners working on the roadworks. So, just see if you can see any of them. No, that was about it. Didn't even see any roadworks. I guess they're on holiday today because today is President's Day. Like state prisoners.
Maybe not.
Today Today's a public holiday because it's President's Day, which is George Washington's birthday. Looks like that was about it. There's the sign. I'll get that out the window. Don't think so.
Swamps.
Yeah.
Tell the swamps are, some trees haven't got any leaves on them. See that sign?
No.
Deer on it.
Was it?
Yeah.
Getting near to Gainesville. Observation platform there. We're driving through sort of a
Prairie, it's called.
prairie, but it
Haynes Prairie.
Haynes Prairie.
It's a swamp.
Yeah, it's just all swamp. Okay,
What?
I'll tell the story.
Well, we've drove up to Gainesville because we were reading in the paper that there's drag racing on today. But if you look to your right,
Another sausage.
nothing.
Just some people cleaning up.
We've driven for about 2.5 hours. But we've made it to Gainesville Dragway.
At least we've seen it. Maybe next year we can actually watch it. Looks like a good event anyway with all that grandstand.
If you look to your right, you can see the
What?
end of the straight for the scoreboard. The lap time. The lap's times, isn't it?
You can't see it.
It's now about 4:15 in the afternoon. We've come back from Gainesville and we've come south of Daytona to have a look at some sugar mill ruins. I saw them on the map. We had nothing else to do today, so we've come here. There's a sign at the front gate saying no digging for artefacts allowed. just away from the ruins. Give you an idea of what the bush is like around this area. This is typical of this part of the world. Welcome to Orlando Airport. Time is 3 o'clock. We've been here since 1 o'clock. We've been to Warner Brothers store here. We don't fly out till what, 7 o'clock tonight? 7 o'clock. So we've got 6 hours at the airport. Where we are now is, this is inside the airport, but this is the Hyatt Hotel. A bit like Burstwood. We're leaving from gate 83. Is it the 23rd today?
Yeah.
Submarine World in Portsmouth.
Submarine World. Is that Disney World?
No, battery's flat. Right.
This would have been on the surface, on the top of one of the submarines.
All comes into bits. Just show Peter, with these, it's like a load of pieces of cheese held together.
Yeah.
You see here, look.
Yeah, I'm filming.
Can you see just there? There's like 4 bands.
Yeah.
Well, those 2 bands are on either torpedo. And these grips are on this. And you just pull them together, and then you ease these sprung, just let them come in. And if you was to get the things in there and open that up, these 2 bits would just fall apart. They're just touching each other at the moment.
Very simple.
Amazing, really, for such a thing.
That's the motor. That's the battery in there. That's the battery. That was the electronics in that bit. That's the board head. That's the fuse. Transducer. Remember it all, a long time ago.
Yeah.
When you actually worked on them, did you?
Yeah.
When he first came out of the
To
Navy,
prep 'em.
before he went back in the Navy again, he worked for what's known as RNAD. Naval Army Armament Depot?
Yeah.
So which is your bit, the electronics section?
These torpedoes.
No, the electronics bit.
Because you're electronics, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the battery and that's the main electronics.
Alright.
That bit.
So you
This bit right here.
Point to it, yep. So your signature's on there somewhere.
No, not on that one. An old one, then.
Could be.
That is a little midgy machine.
Well, how old are these ones, John? How old are these ones?
Wartime.
Yeah.
I don't think they bothered to develop them much after the war.
Looks more like a land speed record car.
Yeah. Again, I think these were sort of mines. They took them in and then dropped the front bits. Whereas those, they used to take them in and then get off them.
Yeah.
And swim away.